Hey there, it's Sam here from BMT School of Music, and today what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to play Sweet Child of Mine with a few sort of nuances or tips that I believe make it as close as possible to the original. I think a really important thing to sort of get into here is that this is not me sort of claiming to play this exactly like Slash from Guns N' Roses does. That kind of thing is pretty much impossible. I know you can find a lot of videos on YouTube where people really dig deep into the gear and the strings and the pickup that guitarist uses. But I think that, unless you're actually there using the absolute exact same equipment as that guitarist and you are actually them, it's pretty much impossible to absolutely 100% emulate a song exactly as it sounds on recording. I like to go, I think, probably about 95% of the way there. There's some things here that I'm going to show you how to play this riff that I just very often see being missed out in how this is sort of taught or learned. It's a really popular song. So inevitably people kind of look up a tab on YouTube, scrabble through that tab and just miss out some key things. So I'll give you a little demo of Sweet Child of Mine. Hopefully I'm not going to go wrong. Do another round with the ending. Like that. So the first thing is that it uses a neck pickup, so it doesn't matter if you're playing a Strat or a Les Paul style guitar. If you use the neck pickup, you get a nice smooth sound. I've got the gain to what we would call 2 o'clock, so it's a fair bit of gain. That means if you basically don't go by the actual numbers on the knob of your guitar, you just put your gain to about here. And my sort of favourite guitar tone to use if you do have a bass, mid and treble control, hey look, that spells BMT, is I usually put my bass to about 1 o'clock, my mid to about 1 o'clock, and my treble to about 2 o'clock. That's my favourite guitar tone. Again, I'm not too worried about the absolute nuances. That's how it sounds exactly, on the record. The other thing is that you don't use your little finger. A lot of people will do it with a little finger. They play in 12th position, so perfect 12th position. It just doesn't work. And I've watched Slash doing it as well, and he doesn't use his little finger. And also, something that I quite often do is actually if you go onto YouTube and look up about 10 people playing this, maybe 5, just type into YouTube, Sweet Child of Mine cover, something like that, guitar cover, and watch those people play it. You will have a sliding scale of how accurate those players are. And one thing that you will notice is that those that use 3 fingers will have it more accurate than those that use 4. And that's not saying that those people who are using 4 fingers are bad. They're just in a process. We're all in a journey, aren't we, when we're learning the guitar? So here we go. I'm going to click up the Songs to tab just to show you some of the reading as we go along. So we're going to start with the first note, 12th fret on the D string. And we're going to reach over to the B, fret 15, like that. And you use fingers 1 and 3 for that. So that's your first 2 notes. So this is going to be down, up. We'll get into the picking a little bit more in a second. Then you're going to use your middle finger to play 14 on the G. And then your first finger to play 12 on the G as well. And what you'll see here is that there's no 13th fret in the whole song. Mostly you have finger 1 on fret 12, finger 2 on fret 14, and finger 3 on fret 15. But you'll see that does change. So that's your first set of 4 notes. So the alternate picking in this, here's something that a lot of people do wrong, is they will use a mixture of not quite pure alternate picking. They will tend to use outside picking, whatever's going on in that song. So if they've got 2 strings, let's say it's the D and the G, they'll pick down and up. So you're going outside of those 2 strings. But let's say the next 2 notes are on the same string, so you don't have the same outside picking thing, but they will be down, up. So the first 2 notes, down, up. Next 2 notes, down, up. This is where people will start to go wrong. So the next set of 4 notes, you've got 15 on the top E. Then you've got 12 on the G. Okay, so you've got down on that one and up on that one. Now, because that goes from a high note to a lower note, That's where a lot of people will go outside picking, so they'll go up, down, and what they've done there is they've just reversed the picking pattern. So you've started off with the first 2 notes, down, up, the next 2 notes on the same string, down, up. Okay, let me reiterate that again. First 2 notes, down, up, that's outside picking, lower to high note. Next 2 notes on the same string, down, up. So it's not outside or inside, but it's on the same string. Next 2 notes, down, up. So 15 on the toppy, down, up. That is inside picking because you're going from a higher to lower note. And you just got to remember that alternate picking doesn't care about the string direction. It doesn't care. All it cares about is going tick-tock, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. One thing you can do is getting into the rhythm of the song. It's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just really feeling that pulse as a down, up, 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 down, up. So I haven't shown you the last 2 notes of the second bit. So we had the 15 on the toppy and the 12 on the G, which was a down, up. Then we're going to do is 14 on the toppy and then 14 on the G. And that's with finger 3. This is the first point where we come out of this position. We have finger 1 on fret 12, finger 2 on fret 14, finger 3 on fret 15. So the first point where that finger comes outside of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th note comes outside, and then the middle finger is just 14 on the G. And again, down, up. That's inside picking. So important to get that right. You may find that you need to practice sets of 2 notes. Maybe not these 2. Definitely these 2. And definitely these 2. So lots of looping, and then maybe starting to pair up 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as I say, a lot of people will go down, up, and then they'll go up, down, down. That's just weird. If you write it out, it doesn't make sense to go down, up, and then go up, down, down. Remember that the whole idea. Did I just write that wrong? That's it. There's your halfway point. That will mean not only have you got a double up pick here, it will also mean when you're looping that picking pattern that you will also have a double down as you come back round again. And trust me, your tone is going to sound amazing if you get this spot on. So that's the first part of the riff. So if you can get that, you're going to start finding that the rest of the riff will be fairly manageable. Try not to jump too early into learning the next bit until you've really started to get some of that alternate picking done. So the next bit is exactly the same. I'm just going to change one of the notes. Again, the fingering, very, very important here. So all that's going to change is the 12 on the D is going to become 14 on the D. But weirdly enough, we're going to do this with the first finger still. So it's going to be like this. So 14 on the D, 15 on the B again. Outside picking, down, up. These 2 notes haven't changed. Neither of these 2. With their inside picking, neither of these 2 changed. If you got really good at that bit, you can find that quite easy. That is going to feel really weird. A lot of people, I'll see them play it something like this. You know, the first one. Then they'll go something like that. You can do it really well like that. But there's a little kind of icing on the cake that happens from doing it with this correct fingering that I'm showing you. It's the separation of the notes that happens, and nothing rings. So let's go over that again. We've got finger 1, 14 on the D, 15 on the B, like that. You'll kind of need to turn your wrist kind of sideways. And the rest of it is the same. Okay, so part 3, exactly the same. But the first note, instead of being 12 on the D or 14 on the D, is going to be 12 on the G. This is going to change your picking pattern a bit, but the fingering is going to be the same as the first part. So we've got 12 on the G, then 15 on the B. Okay, and we'll say the picking pattern changes slightly. It's still outside picking. It's just those strings are closer together. So you've got that down, up, then the rest of it is exactly the same. Okay, so structure. You end up with these 3 riffs. Number 1 starts with 12 on the D. Number 2 starts with 14 on the D. Number 3 starts with 12 on the G. And let's just think of those as 1, 2, and 3. So we have these 3 parts, and you want to get really, really good at playing those 3 parts. Okay. So the structure is going to go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and then it's going to go 1, 1. So I'll have 1, 1 again, then 2, then 2 again, then 3, and 3 again, and finish with 1. But when I repeat, I have to stay on the 1 again, and 1 again. Now change to 2, 2, and 2 again, then into 3. Whoops, sorry, 3 again, then finish on 1. Like that. And I do believe that is played through 4 times. But there's a little ending that you're going to do instead of returning to 1 at the end, which is this. So this bit. It's quite simple, but it's putting in this extra note here. So what you're going to do is you're going to have kind of an upper melody, and that goes 12 on the top E with finger 1, 15 on the B with finger 3, back to 12 on the top E, and you're going to go up, you're going to go to 14 on the top E, then 15 on the top E, that's with fingers 2 and 3, using that position we showed you earlier. You're coming back down, 14 on the top E, 12 on the top E, and then back there. It's very much like a scale. Let me go through that again. So if you can get that melody down. Apologies! I've shown you at the wrong fingering. Your middle finger. You're going to have to undo everything you just did then. So the second finger is going to go here, which means we're going to have that in between that melody. So that's going to stay there. You're going to go top E, then to there. Can you see now what I do is I do that melody by using my 3rd finger here. I use my 3rd finger here as well because I can't use my 2nd. I use my little because I've already used my 3rd. I'm sorry I got that wrong. Then we're going to put this note in between. So we're going to pick inside picking. Okay, inside picking. You've got to start with the down. Okay, this would be much easier if you did it outside picking. It's going to be way easier. But that's not how the rhythm of the song works. We're going to pick the top E downwards and the G string upwards. So we've got 1. Then we're going to go to the B. We're going to go downwards like that. We go back to the top E. Then top E 14. Then 15 with the pinky finger. Back to 13 with the 3rd finger. Back to 12 with the 1st finger. And then just hit that note. We're just going to finish on that note. And if you can get that, that's going to be amazing because you'll be able to make the whole riff sound finished. So you'll have 1, 1 again, 2, 2 again, 3, 3 again, then the end. Like that. I haven't used the tab because actually I think this has worked really, really well by rote. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to link the Songster tab into the description of this video, so you can use that as well. And that is how to play Sweet Child of Mine properly. Okay, and you know, like I say, like it's not absolutely exactly the way that Slash plays it. I can just imagine somebody kind of commenting, oh, but it was played through this amp, or you know, it was kind of like this, or the fingering was like this. This is how to get it sounding really, really good and close enough to the way that Slash does it, that you're going to have something like, if you play it to somebody, they're going to say that sounds really good. And I think that the thing that I always look at is If you can play a song that's recognisable, that's great. You're really onto something. If you play a riff and somebody goes, oh, that's Sweet Child of Mine. Brilliant. If somebody goes, what's that song? You're not quite heading in the right direction. Not to say that you're not going to very soon, but if somebody hears you playing and saying, man, that sounds really good, that's when it's worth every second that you spend adding these little nuances in. Anyway, hope you find this video lesson useful. Take care and goodbye.